So we'll take a little opportunity here to talk about some hop physiology. A hop is a perennial plant, meaning it will grow actually out from the ground every spring. So believe it or not, this entire 20-foot plant here is going to be cut down to ground level here after about the second frost, which terminates their growing season. And so they're going to come up from these perennial crowns. So the crown down here is just where we actually located the plant originally, and you can see there's actually continuous growth actually throughout the growing season. It'll continue to put out growth and binds, and so we typically apply some desiccant spray to basically burn off and kill those small shoots in that vegetation like this, because we want all the energy possible in this plant to continue to go up into the production of hops. Because these are spiraled in growth, they can climb up a string, and so we'll talk about choir here before too long. But the idea is that's just going to continue to grow mostly through the summer solstice, so late June, third week of June or so. At that time, they start to devote more of their energy into cone production, and so we get some nice looking cones, as we can see here, kind of tucked up under these leaves. These are pretty nice. There's a couple nice good sized cones on there. Some varieties, and even just some within the row, will develop these branches that we call sidearms. And so here, this is another centennial plant. We're in the centennial half of our yard, and you see that this nice branch structure going on here. That's going to just continue to produce a lot of hops pretty vigorously here throughout the season. When we go back to this little baby vine here, this is going to continue to grow as long as this growth tip is present. It's the apical meristem, but if we can snap that off, that will basically terminate and it will stop any additional growth at that time. So as we twist these up in the spring, we're always careful because we don't want to damage those tips, because once we damage the tip, then our vertical growth is basically done. So as much as it's impressive to see how big the plant is above ground, mature hop plants are actually fascinating underground. These rows here are 12 feet apart, and believe it or not, the roots from these adjacent rows will actually interact with each other. And so sometimes the root depth on a mature crown can go down anywhere 15 to 16 feet, which is just really cool from a water and a nutrient standpoint, a lot different than when we talk about, the rhizosphere, 15, 18 inches maybe in our typical row crops such as corn and beans.